Good morning, everyone. My name is Kalia Adesina, and I'm the current mayor of our esteemed Powder Springs Youth Council. I'm honored to be here to be presenting one half of our panel this morning. First, I want to understand the real reason behind why we are here. To celebrate our community's love for reading and books. Reading is not only fundamental, but it brings us together, forming new friendships and lifelong friendships. Today, we can see that we have several organizations here promoting their own businesses that support the act of reading. For that, we thank all of you for showing up. So with that being said, can we give a huge round of applause for our businesses, staff, speakers, and organizations that we have with us. Yes, thank you so much. I would now like to begin the introductions for one half of our panel for this morning. First, we have our Mayor's Reading Club. This organization fosters a reading within our community, which only betters the act of reading for our future. Next, we have Mrs. Irene Martin and Miss Allison Yarko with the Cobb Collaborative. The Cobb Collaborative has 3 initiatives. They focus on early literacy with the basics, mental health, and civic engagement. Their mission statement is to engage, educate, and empower the community to improve the well-being of children and families. I will now turn the floor to our very own Mayor Pro Tem of the Powder Springs Youth Council, Rose Pierre.
Hello everyone, my name is Rose Pierre. I am a sophomore at McMurtry High School and I am the Mayor Pro Tem of the Powder Springs Youth Council. Today I will be introducing the other half of our lovely panel that are accomplished, vocal, and most of all have the goal of serving our dearest community. One quote that I would like to bring up and talk about is letting all the stars align, quoted by our own mayor, Mayor Austell. This quote encompasses his time as mayor, but also all the other mayors who will be here and present today. Books open up our eyes to new worlds that we never knew existed and help us walk in our alignment and our path to the stars. So today, without further ado, I'd like to introduce Dwight McMurtry with Powder Springs and Mayor Ollie Clemons with Austell.
Thank you so much to our youth council. Gentlemen, these are the women who are going to be taking your spots one day, so we want to really encourage that. Again, welcome everybody to the Mayor's Reading Club panel. We're so excited that you're here. My name is Irene Martin, and it's my distinct pleasure and honor to serve as the Executive Director of the Cobb Collaborative. And we are the local point of contact for the Get Georgia Reading campaign. And so we want to engage all community stakeholders to really foster a love of reading and language and literacy development in our community. And that is why I am joined by these 2 esteemed gentlemen who are representing their 2 cities. And we do want to acknowledge that Mayor Michael Owens from Mableton could not join us. There's another event going on, but we that has him there. But we are the smarter for it because we're inside and we love to read, right? So I'm going to allow each of our panelists to just do a quick introduction of themselves and why reading is so important to them. So first, I'm joined by Powder Springs, our host city, Powder Springs City Councilman Dwight McMurtry, who represents Post 1. And so tell us, Councilman, how long have you been serving on the council and where you see Powder Springs kind of fitting into this whole reading initiative?
First of all, I'd like to say thanks for allowing me to be here today. My name is Dwight McMurtry. I've been on council. This is my first term, my first year. Well, I'm going into my second year. I'm from Powder Springs, born and raised. I'm a McKitchen graduate, and I spent 27 years in the Navy. I moved back to Powder Springs 6 years ago, so I'm glad to be home. Excuse me, I'm glad to be on council, and I am really enjoying the growth of Powder Springs. Powder Springs on the move. Excuse me, it's one of the fastest growing cities, as you can already see, and I see Powder Springs as really being a very successful growing city.
Well, we thank you for your service in the Navy. We thank you for your service here in Powder Springs, and we thank you for being drafted to represent the city this morning. And a familiar face, Mayor Ollie Clemons, Mayor of the City of Austell. You're in your second term, is that right, Mayor?
Yes,
so, yeah.
I have started my second term. This is the second year of my second term, so thankfully, I guess the Lord saw it fit for me to do this again. I've been serving on council actually enjoy doing it. I enjoy being a part of the Mayor's Reading Club and all of the doors that and I know that it will help to open up for young people as we continue to promote literacy throughout Georgia, as a matter of fact, and Austell, most importantly.
Absolutely. Life has a way of doing that, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Throwing curveballs. So let's lay a foundation for the folks here and those who are watching us online. And Mayor Clemons, I'll start with you if that's okay. Why do mayors and elected officials and policymakers care about reading and reading proficiency? Why is that so important to building a community?
Well, because it opens up doors when you promote literacy, especially with everyone, but more importantly when you promote literacy with our little ones, because it provides benefits that are lifelong. Because it does help them, it enables them to become productive citizens. It opens up doors through so many channels, because literacy is important in everything that you do. The program became something that the Georgia Municipal Association put into place, and we, as mayors and elected officials, gravitated to that because we saw how it can help reduce poverty, prevent it altogether. There's so many numerous amount of benefits from promoting literacy, and then it's just fun when you go into the schools and you spend time with the little ones. So it's a fun activity that has benefits that are really almost hard to measure.
I've seen you break out into a dance or two when you're reading with those little ones. But you're so right, Mayor. I mean, there's a direct correlation between third grade reading proficiency, high school graduation, which determines so many other things, right? Opportunities and things like that. And Councilman, from your perspective, why do elected officials, city staff, and other community stakeholders care about reading proficiency and language development and really building that network of a reading community?
Well, reading is key, and that's the key for our kids. I mean, kids nowadays, they gravitate so quickly, so easily. But reading is that's just a part of growth, part of living. We got to have reading.
I heard a quote one time at a conference that books are really mirrors and doors. Mirrors, so hopefully we see ourselves in books, you know, the cultures and traditions and experiences that we go through as families and communities, but also windows or doors into other worlds, other possibilities, you know, travel, other cultures and experiences. So I think that is such a wonderful way to describe the power of reading. So, well, and speaking of power of reading, and I'll let you gentlemen flip a coin, is there a person in your life who had kind of an outside influence on developing your love of reading? Maybe a teacher, maybe a parent, a family member? Anyone come to mind?
My second grade teacher from Hollydale Elementary. Matter of fact,
Right down the road.
yes, she's still alive, and we still talk periodically on Facebook. She always tells me how successful, how proud of me she is. But she was my favorite, and that's when I really got into reading, and that was, you know, having a favorite teacher, that makes it easy for you anyway. You know? So.
You want to make them proud,
That's
and
right,
yeah,
that's
give
right.
a gold star and all of that.
That's right.
Absolutely. Mayor, anyone come to mind for you?
Well, actually, when you thought about favorite teacher, my sixth grade teacher was that. And I had the privilege of coming through school, and I skipped third grade. I went from second to fourth grade.
An overachiever? Is that what you are?
I don't know if that's what it was. I think it was just.
You weren't a troublemaker, I'm
No,
sure.
because I think it would have went the other way. But no, I was happy to have been able to do that. But my sixth grade teacher was trying to pour into me because if you skip a grade, then it's evident that obviously you must be advanced in your reading and every other thing. But then sometimes that can kind of make you lazy. So my sixth grade teacher would get on me because sometimes I would be sitting there like, I've seen and heard this before, but my sixth grade teacher was really a great influence on me in learning to love to read. So yeah, that was my greatest influence.
Well, Mayor Clemons, you've mentioned it a couple of times, the Mayor's Reading Club that is sponsored by the Georgia Municipal Association. You've been a part of it for nearly 2 years, just like Mayor Thurman and his whole team, which is so exciting. I'm going to start with you. If you could tell us about some of the things that you've got going on in Austell as you lead that effort, and you launched something pretty spectacular at the beginning of this year, right?
Yeah, we were excited to kind of expand on the Mayor's Reading Club. The Mayor's Reading Club and being a part of that and having the opportunity to go into the schools and read to the young ones and partner with the libraries and go into the libraries and read to the little ones. It was just such a huge opportunity and to give back and to allow the benefit of warming a child's heart from them just seeing them being involved in part of the stories that you read. And so as trying to take that initiative from the Mayor's Reading Club just a little further in promoting literacy, then we launched and created the Austell Reads. And so we do these things not by ourselves because, as you know, we partner with you, with COG Collaborative. You're the executive director of that. And we partner with Julia Davis of the Bookworm. And so those partnerships, we also partner with the Cobb Library, the Sweetwater Valley branch of the Cobb Library. And so those partnerships have been monumental in being able to continue to promote literacy. We thought when you do it with the children, it's important and it's one thing, but then we thought we need to take that just a little bit further and open it up for all ages. So then we did that in Austell, and it's been a hit. We've had a couple of authors there, you've been there, we've had support there, and Julia has been monumental with that support as well. And so yeah, it's been great, man. I really enjoyed the initiatives that has come out of birth out of just being a part of the Mayor's Reading Club. And actually I was probably nudged a little bit by you to be a part of the Mayor's Reading Club. But it's been really good.
And we are so excited, looking forward to, in less than 2 weeks, we'll be welcoming Georgia literacy coach Malcolm Mitchell, who also is a Super Bowl, he's a UGA, he's a Bulldog football player and a Super Bowl champion. We were named one of the 10 Georgia Community Award winners. We'll be having that community celebration right in the heart of the city of Austell. Everyone is welcome to join us because, as you said, Mayor, it's not just one organization or one person, it's everybody working together to build that community of readers. And Councilman, speaking of a community working together, this is the second year that the city of Powder Springs has hosted the Bookworm Book Fest, and everybody has pivoted. Julia was doing a great job of physically demonstrating her pivoting just a few minutes ago. But it's a large commitment of resources on the part of the city. Why do you and your fellow elected officials feel that this is so important?
Well, it's very important, like I said earlier, it's very important for our kids because, first of all, our kids, they need our support. And, kids, they're going to be our leaders today. And I think it's very important, very vital that we do participate in this program because it's a very successful program. And the kids really need it. And we really need this program in the city. So it's a wonderful program. Yes.
Plus, you're supporting small business owners, not only the brick and mortar of the Bookworm bookstore, but I heard that there was Sangster's Coffee out there. Certainly all of the authors here are entrepreneurs and small business owners, and that's vital to the fabric of a city as well, right? Yeah. So, and even though he can't be with us, Mayor Owens, we want to acknowledge that he also joined the Mayor's Reading Club right about a year ago, as if they didn't have enough going on with just building a city, right? I think we were both at the ribbon cutting yesterday for their first official city office, and Mayor Thurman was there representing the city of Powder Springs. So, and we know that Mayor Owens has a lot of great plans as well in Mableton to engage business leaders, educational leaders, and community leaders in doing all the great things. But he's going to look at these two cities as a blueprint too. So, and speaking of other cities, Mayor Clemons, you may be in a slightly better position, no offense of course, to answer this, but you mentioned the Georgia Municipal Association, the Mayor's Reading Club. Do you have any feel for what other cities and mayors are doing, maybe outside of Cobb County? Do you interact with them at all? I know you mentioned the conference will be coming up in the summer, early summer, and there'll be some specific programming around literacy, correct?
Sure, yeah. Other cities, they have all had very interesting ways and initiatives in promoting the Mayor's Reading Club in their areas. And I've heard, and we do too, they will, in many cases, they will engage with the libraries there. Some of them have mentioned even going into the Boys and Girls Clubs and utilizing that as a source for reading to young people. There are several different ways within which the mayors that are part of the Mayor's Reading Club around Georgia have come up with some really great and unique ideas. Some are going to the park and set up times within which to do so. And so some of those ideas and thoughts, I've gleaned some of those ideas for us to use here in the city of Austell as well. But yeah, those are some of the things that I know of that others in the Mayor's Reading Club have done.
As you were talking, my mind was just like, oh yeah, oh yeah. Love it. How about you? Have you heard about other cities doing some things?
I haven't per se, not as yet, because I'm fairly new, but I'm pretty sure, like I was in Mapleton yesterday as well, and they're doing great things, Austell doing great things, and I just think the best is yet to come out of all three cities.
Well, there is a little free library on its way to my office for implanting in one of the Powder Springs city parks. I can't remember exactly where it's going, but I've been working with the Parks and Rec Department, so we want to increase access to books. As we know, print awareness is a foundation of the science of reading. So I know while people say little free libraries and they kind of tilt their head like, oh, those are so cute. Really, we are doing important work. We are expanding access to books, and we're creating that print awareness. How does a book work? This is the title page. This is the table of contents. This is how we read. This is so important. And so we thank both of you and your cities for promoting this. So, question for each of you, because you both have talked about partnerships. How can regular folk, community members get involved? What can they do?
Well, for us, they can actually come, and as we talked about launching Austell Reads, that they can come and become a part of that. The partnerships again that we have with the Sweetwater Valley branch of the library, they can also come to the Sweetwater Valley branch of the Cobb Library and become a part there and assist in promoting literacy. I'm sure Julia Davis, who owns the bookworm, she will welcome anyone that she will gravitate to you. If you let her know that you love a book, then she's a friend of yours, and you'll have a great friend there because she owns the bookworm, and she is definitely a huge promoter of literacy and always using anyone's assistance with that. And of course, Irene, as you are a part of Cobb Collaborative, I know that you will welcome, those as well that will come along and want to get on this journey with us, because this journey it's about all of us and trying to promote literacy throughout. So any way that they can connect with my office and any way that we can possibly include you and make you part of the journey, we'll certainly do so.
Wonderful. And can people find out about upcoming Austell Reads events on the city's social media and website and contacting your office?
Sure. Well, more importantly, if you don't see anything anywhere, you can contact my eyes, my ears, my brain, and that's my executive assistant, and Debbie Condon. She will let you know.
Love the way you phrase that, yes.
And my brain.
And the brain. How about, Councilman, not put you too much on the spot, but I'm sure there are opportunities that people can find out about?
Yes, of course. Our Facebook page as well. Of course, we have Julia. And office and we'll put you directly in contact with Julia. She's very active, she's very dedicated, and she's great at what she does, and she cares about our city.
Definitely, definitely. And people always ask me, kind of random people, I'll get phone calls, how can I be involved? And a lot of people want to help out with tutoring and things like that. And the best thing to do is to contact the elementary school directly, form a relationship with the principal, or become part of a civic association like Rotary or Kiwanis or things like that. Those clubs do so much in terms of partnering with schools and bringing other stakeholders along. So, all right, so we're here at a book fest. You know what that means. We're talking books, books, and more books, right? So who wants to confess what's on your summer reading list? Or do you want to talk about what was the last book that you read? It's member choice. You can choose.
Well, last book I read, I mainly read a lot of newspapers. But last book I read.
Old school, I love it.
Yes. I mean, even before I just finished college, even before I have an exam, I read a newspaper for my exams, So, but I have a couple of books that I like, and mainly Martin Luther King. He was my favorite book, favorite guy, favorite leader. So I have several favorite books, but I mainly read the paper all the time and Newsweek.
I get 2 digital newspapers a day, and then old school, I like the AJC print on Sunday because I like to do the crossword puzzle with a pen in my hand. Mayor, how about you?
And of course, I love that old school too. I will grab a paper all the time, and I'm probably, my summer reading list is inclusive of the autobiography of our former president and Barack Obama and his wife Michelle Obama. I have both those books, and sometimes I take time out to read it, and when one of my kids call and they said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Oh, I'm reading a book." They said, "Oh, reading for pleasure. That's that's interesting. You get a chance to do that." I said, "Not often." So, but those are definitely 2 that are on my reading list for me personally. And then we've got some books that we plan on reading over the summer with our partnership with the library and to the little ones as well.
I always love when we're always receiving gently loved donations of gently loved children's books at the collaborative. Shameless plug, thank you. But as I go through the boxes with my colleagues and see things, books that when my kiddos who are now young adults, when they were little, and it just brings back such good memories, right, of snuggling. The very hungry caterpillar, I always remember that with our daughter. She would take a really deep breath in on that page where there's all the fruits and things that he eats throughout the week, and that's just one of those memories that you don't forget as a parent, right? And it's so great that I know your grandchildren and children and family members see you reading, seeing you read a newspaper, either holding it or online. That is so important. So. Well, as our time together draws to a close, is there anything that we didn't talk about that you'd like to mention?
Well, you did mention just a second ago of my grandchildren. I get a really, really, really kick out of reading to them. And, I've still got some young ones, and they will, we have a great time. And sometimes, when they're just toddlers, they'll get one book, you'll read that, they'll bring you another book, and you'll read that, and you'll get another book. So it's really, those are really some of the best times that I have with reading. You mentioned the shameless plug, but we are very thankful for the books that, the gently used books, and all of the books that Cobb Collaborative offers, and for us to go out and read with, so we appreciate that tremendously.
Oh, it's our pleasure. So how about you, Councilman?
I have twin grandboys, and they're 12, and they love to read. I have to actually tell them to take a break sometimes. Let's go outside and play sometimes, so which is great, though. So they actually love to read.
That's so great. Well, please join me in thanking our esteemed panelists, Austell Mayor Ali Clemons and Powder Springs Councilman Dwight McMurtry for joining me today.